Hello everybody and welcome to this roundup of all the actions to take place in the Cheshire Football League last weekend. This is a day late, just for a few issues that we've had technically, and so we'll be right into it with the Premier Division. Whaley Bridge remain top of the Premier Division following their 3-0 win at home to Malpas. The win at Horwich Park was their 15th of the season, meaning they have 45 points. 6 clear of Knutsford in second. Malpas continue their winless streak, conceding 17 goals in the past 3 games. Knutsford stayed second after they beat Congleton Vale 3-1 at Manchester Road. Goals from David Owens, 2 of them, and Thomas Rutter gave the Reds the win. They sit on 39 points, just clear of the chasing pack and 2 wins off the leaders. Poynton continue their unbeaten run with a win at local rivals Wythenshawe Town. A 3-1 victory for Poynton meant that they are edging ever closer to those top few positions with a number of games in hand. Goals from league top scorer Rick Tyndall, Matt Toole and Josh Stafford gave the win to Poynton, and the loss continues Wythenshawe's recent winless run following their loss last weekend. Eagle Sports came away from Moss Lane Stadium with yet another surprise win this weekend as they beat Altrincham Reserves 1-0 away from home. Gareth Williams' sole goal meant that Eagle beat the Altrincham Reserve side and move up the table quite considerably. Denton Town pulled another strong victory as they beat Rudham Social by 6-0 away from home. The Tameside natives won strongly in Northwich as their goals came via Gavin Salmon, who got a hat-trick, Daniel Hewitt, Naira McKenzie and Stephen Yarwood. The result keeps Denton in 8th, just a few points off Linotype Cheadle above them. Linotype Cheadle also won this week at home to Rylands. The Stockport side won 2-0 thanks to goals from Joe Campbell and Cale Power, the latter also receiving a red card in the game. Crewe remain just 2 points behind Nomads following their 4-1 victory over Greenall's Padgate St Oswald. Charlie Bird and Brace plus goals from Danny Lavalette and Robin Gibson mean that they have increased the gap between themselves and Rylands, who are below them by 5 points. The two bottom sides, Style and Garswood, played each other at Altrincham Road, and it was the away side that came away with the win. A 1-0 victory means that Garswood move level on points with Style, but both clubs are now 4 points off the pack above them and will be hoping to pick up a win this weekend. Both sides are really struggling at the moment. In League 1, Pilkington move level with the leaders Warrington Town, who for the first time since I think October have finally been caught. It was them, they won this weekend as they beat AFC Macclesfield 4-3 in a thrilling encounter. The home side sits on 43 points with an inferior goal difference, meaning they currently sit in second technically. Warrington Reserves, as previously mentioned, lost away at Billinge 3-2, so that means that Billinge now move 1 point behind Warrington and also 1 point behind Pilkington, meaning that the top 3 are separated by just 1 point. Goals from Callum Priestley and Jamie Petrie mean that Middlewich Town beat Cheadle Town Reserves 2-1 at Park Road Stadium. The Witches won 2-1 as mentioned, which means they move into 9th. Grappenhall Sports drew 1-1 away at West Ditchbury and Chorlton Reserve. Sports move to within a win of Cheadle Town above them, while West Ditchbury sit in 4th following results that mean that nobody was able to overtake them this week. Lostock Greyland were dominant in their 7-0 victory over Halebank. Aside from Northwich, were one of the standout performers of the day, and it really was. It was an excellent game from what we've heard. A very one-sided game at that, but an excellent game nonetheless. Mersey Valley won 2-0 in Ashton in Mersey as they beat Goulburn Sports at home. Goals from Kyle Denton and Peter Westwood mean that Valley end the week in 5th. Dayton and FC St Helens played out one of the few 0-0 draws of the weekend. I think it might be one of the only 0-0 draws. I don't think there were any others. And it was a real stalemate. Neither side could put anything past the other. And so it finished 0-0. Both sides still sort of in there. St Helens obviously much further up the table. I believe they are in 6th or 7th currently. Edgerton came from behind to beat Tarpley Victoria 3-1 in Tattenhall. the home side went ahead before a brace from Jason Wright and another goal which we haven't had confirmed on full time yet. Another goal was scored to give Edgerton the victory. It finished 3-1 in that game. Game of the weekend took place in League Two as Windle Labour took on David Christleton in a game that would see the winner go top of League Two. It was Windle Labour that came away with the win, and a very good win at that. It was 4-3, 7-goal thriller, and both sides really put their all into it. Windle, as I said, came away with the victory, and it really did seem like it was going to end a draw. So Windle moved top now. They're a few points ahead of Diva, and only 1 or 2 ahead of Broadheath. Broadheath, as previously mentioned, moving to second as they beat Unicorn Athletic. They won 4-1 in Flixton, with Central's goals coming via Jake Hoy, Aaron Myers and Tyler Williams. The final game of the weekend saw Moore United take on Cunnington in a 6-goal thriller. It finished 5-1 to Moore United, and they took the lead early on in the first half. They got towards half time and Cunnington pulled one back, but then the second half was all Moore United, and they took the game and were very impressive in doing so. Goals from Matthew Arnold and Joseph Holt, both those players receiving braces, and the Sam Chaddock goal gave Moore United the victory. I will now pass over to Rob, who will cover all of your reserve division action. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll let Rob do his thing.
Thanks, James. Good evening and welcome to the roundup for Saturday the 21st of January in the Hallmark Security Cheshire Football League. I'm going to round up Reserve 1, Reserve 2 and the Northern Cup games involving those sides from those divisions. So, in Reserve 1, the game of the day probably was Eagle 4, Dayton 2. They're now unbeaten in 5, Eagle, and they've gone top of the division with Linotype Cheadle reserves not playing on Saturday. Goal scorers for Eagle, Tom Edwards, James Waldron scored 2 and Craig Hall, with man of the match Rob Stewart and Joe Neal getting the goals for Dayton. So Dayton still in 10th place out of 11 in that division. Eagle, as I said, gone top. Garswood gained some ground, moving up into 4th place. On 3rd place, Greenhills, Padgate and Oswald's. 4-0 Garswood won there. Daniel Bell and Thomas Jackson with a hat-trick and maybe even a man of the match performance, although not been nominated by the opponents. Neither side have nominated a man of the match for that game, even though the stats are on. Secretaries, players, have a word. Ryland 6, Billinge 1. My. So we had Matthew James, we had Stephen Latham, we have Przimek Staniszewski scoring 2. But unfortunately, there were 2 goal scorers missing from the Rylands team. Maybe they forgot who's got the goals. Maybe their own goals. Let us know. Ryan Sefton with Billinge's goal. Billinge, bottom of the table. They've not won since the 1st of October. Whereas for Rylands, it was actually their first win since the 3rd of December, and they've now moved up to 6th. Have they an outside chance of making those playoff or even the championship 1st and 2nd places? We'll see over the next few weeks. Into Reserve 2, and AFC Macclesfield took on Goulburn Sports down at Mary Dendy, and AFC Macclesfield ran out 3-2 winners. They've cemented their 3rd place position. Goulburn firmly in 8th, down at the bottom of the table. Goal scorers were Wook, Knight and Quinlan for Macclesfield, Coppell with a man of the match performance, and Woods were the goal scorers for Goulburn. Walker seeing red for Goulburn Sports. FC St Helens 3, Wythenshawe Town Development Squad 2. We had Meadows, Morley and Williams scoring for FC St Helens, with Ahmed getting 2 for Wythenshawe Town. FC St Helens are only second on goal difference, and they really are pushing now. Mersey Valley were in action in the Northern Cup, so didn't play, so got a game in hand, but FC St Helens are a second on goal difference. Into the high scoring game in Reserve 2, Middlewich 7, Malpas 0. Malpas languishing in 9th, bottom of the table with 1 point all season. Middlewich up to 4th now, with Chris Holbrook scoring 3, Stockley scoring 2, Hickson and Cann with the other goals there. What can Middlewich achieve this season? They've played the most number of games, 13 in that division so far. Are they running out of games? There's only 3 left, but could they push into one of those promotion spots? Who knows? Into the Northern Cup, and we don't ask teams to put stats on for these teams, but just to give you the results. Lee Foundry 4, Pilkington Reserves 0, and Ecclesfield 2, Mersey Valley 3. Mersey Valley progress to the next stage of that cup to join a couple of other sides that have progressed as well. The other games that remain unplayed from December's fixtures will be played on the 18th of February, and obviously the winners, there are winners awaiting those teams in round 4. Thank you.